A leading analyst in the silver community says $300 silver. Should we take the prediction seriously? We're going to dive into that in this video. But even more interesting, is one component of the silver market actually in a bubble right now? We love bubbles. But when we look at one critical component of the silver world, something we've talked about in the past, but we've not yet realized it's actually a bubble situation. We're going to talk about that as well. What else? Are we in a no-lose opportunity as silver investors? There's no such thing as a sure thing. However, when we look at silver, are there some indications that we could be in for a wild ride as we had? Same for gold, same for platinum, same for all the metals, but silver in particular. Is there one critical component that we need to look at that could tell us we're almost in a no-lose situation? I appreciate you being here today. Please give this a thumbs up. We got 100 people. It's Sunday morning. Happy Sunday. I hope you have a good, relaxing day. You deserve it. We just have softball practice and 2 basketball games and it's crazy. But, that's one thing, it always feels like you're the only one who's crazy, right? Well, no, we all are crazy. So welcome to the crazy basement. And we're going to focus in on this silver. Hey, also later in the live stream, guys, guess what? We're going to redraw for the 25-ounce silver giveaway. Let me grab the tray and show you real quick. All this could be yours in about a half hour, okay? The previous winner did not claim the prize, so we are now allowed to redraw. So we're going to draw for the 25 ounces. I got a birthday present. Tomorrow's my birthday, and I have a birthday present to open. But you guys want to hear about $300 silver. I know. So let's get digging into it right now. This guy, do you know who this is? Have you read this book? The Great Silver Bull by Peter Krauth. It's like the Bible for, well, some people might find that offensive. It's the authority book for silver. A great book, okay? I listened to him last night. I have some critical ideas that I want to add to his thoughts. Let's get going, and let's get going right now. But are you feeling better about the precious metals? Is it only me? I want to ask you a question. Are you, for some strange reason, and they always say gut feelings, right? Always go with your gut. The stomach is the second brain. I have a good gut feeling right now about the silver price and gold price. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling better? I'm not going to go through the whole list of things, but guys, we talked about this year, we've been hit with some difficult news in regards to the silver and gold price. News events that should have cratered the price. We got hit with the big kahuna of them all last week. Higher consumer inflation, higher PPI, wholesale inflation. Nothing seems to be able to knock down the gold price and the silver price. We know the silver price should be much higher. We're going to talk about $300 silver later in this video, but is it just me? Are you, honest engine feeling better about the silver and gold price? If you're feeling better, hey, let's get our fingers moving. What do you say, basement dwellers? Type better in the chat. Am I alone, or are you still feeling uncertain? It feels like we are in a position like we've built a base. Hey, we did close above $2,000 in gold on Friday. That's like the 13th out of the last 14th week that we closed with a higher gold price. So, hey, look, maybe it's a contrarian indicator. If you hear me saying that I'm feeling better about the metals prices, maybe that means it's time to sell. But I genuinely can look you in the eye and say, I'm feeling better. I'm curious how you're feeling better. Oh, we got some betters. Hey, Leanna. Hello, Annie Oakley. Thank you for being here and moderating. It's an early one. Super appreciate your help today, Annie. We do the best we can. Everybody, right? We're basement dwellers. We have a common interest. Please be nice in the comments. You deserve it. It feels better to be nice as well. All right. Okay, here. Let's just talk about real quick. I wrote this out because to me, this is critical to understand. The impact of the world's most aggressive interest rate hike cycle in history, basically. Not the highest, right? The Fed didn't raise rates to the highest level ever, but the pace and on a percentage basis, going from 0 to whatever they're at, 5.25%. That's a massive, massive increase. And remember, that's applied to massive amounts of debt. That is so critical to understand. Everybody talks about Volcker back in 1980 when he raised rates to 20%. Well, raising rates to 20% on a lower debt base debt level is not as impactful as raising rates to 5%, 0 to 5% on $34 trillion, right? It'd be like this. Here's a great example for you. If all you had was $10,000 in debt and you were paying 2% interest on that 10,000 and the rate raised to 7%. Well, that would stink, right? That'd be what? An extra $500 a year, but it wouldn't kill you. If you had $1 million in debt and the rate went from 2% to 7%, what's 5% of $1 million? 50 grand? That could hurt. Okay. Does that make sense? And that's the situation we're in right now with 34 trillion and all the other debt in the world. It's not just the United States. It's the whole world. It's corporate debt. That's why I'm going to tell you right now, the impact of the world's most aggressive rate hike cycles have not yet been felt. Are we going to see bank failures? Are we going to see business failures? Check, right? We have higher number of bank failures. We do have higher and growing number of business failures, bankruptcies right now. Personal bankruptcies, individuals, families on the rise, right? You know the whole story. Everybody spent through all their savings. Everybody racked up their credit card debt. Everybody's taking money out of their 401k. Everybody's taking out HELOCs. I never liked that word, HELOC. Home equity line of credit. It's an acronym. But they're taking loans out on their house even at these higher rates. Government bankruptcies, not the United States, although we know we're pretty much bankrupt here, but around the world. All these developing countries that have all this debt, we have not yet felt it, okay? None of them can, and there's more, but none of them can weather the highest. But what does that mean for silver and gold? Well, what that means is when the glue comes loose, baby, when the tape rips, when the bubble gum and duct tape and everything else they've been using to hold this whole convoluted, perverted system together, right? Synthetic, make-believe, fantasy world we're living in, when it all starts to come apart, that's when you're going to be real happy that you have your silver, you have your gold, you have your platinum, you have all your metals. That's when your neighbors are going to wish they're going to be kicking themselves that they hadn't bought some metals, some silver, gold, okay? Back when silver was $23 per ounce. Because I'm telling you, right, when that system, when that glue comes apart, that's when. It doesn't matter if they let everything crash. It doesn't matter if they just liquidate, right? Print. Either way, right? Either way, the value of metals is going to be realized, and you're going to be happy, and I'm going to be happy we got it. You need something to protect your wealth, okay? Peter Croth was talking with my friend. I like this. I really like Andrew McGuire from Live from the Vault. And Andrew, he's like, you need something to protect your wealth. What do you choose to protect your wealth? Are you a silver or a gold person? Me? I'm an S. If you're a silver person, type S. If you're a gold person, type G. By the way, CoinShop Chris and I have a new video coming out right after this live stream at 10 a.m. Central, a premiere, and I'll be on there. I don't know where CoinShop Chris is, but hopefully he'll be on there as well to help with the, he stays up real late at night sometimes with the comments. And we got into a little bit of a tussle on the interview. I got to warn you, but everything's cool. I think, I don't know. He's not on the live stream. Maybe CoinShop Chris is breaking up with me. That would be heartbreaking. Anyway, history of silver. Silver has been money for 4,000 years. Okay. It was the first money. It's the word for money in most languages, right? The word for money is silver, all right? The first coins were minted in 800 BC in Greece, used for 4,000 years. 4,000. This is interesting, okay? And this is the book. I'm going to put a link to it in the description of this. You can read about all this in this book. Very great, well-written book. This guy, let me see, here's his picture. I like him. Where's his picture? Oh, there it is. Him. Okay? All right. Think about this. Silver has been used for money for over 4,000 years all over the world. It's only in the last 40 or 50 years that it's not been used for money. Are we in a new era where silver will never be used for money again? I don't think so, right? And we know all the industrial uses for silver. We're going to touch on that later. But think about it, 4,000 years. Silver was used by every major empire, including the United States, as money up until 1964 here. Why suddenly, after 4,000 years with 50, right, that's like 1/80th. That's only 1/80th of modern history. Will we go back? Will silver, has it ever lost its position as money? But, will it officially be used back as money in the United States? I think, or in the world. I think it will. I think we're seeing that with what the Chinese are doing with precious metals, with what the Russians are doing with precious metals. Okay, all recent. They talk. Oh, this is interesting. This is. I don't know. I'm gonna slow down. This is very critical for us to understand what we just talked about. Silver's been money for 4,000 years. Only the last 40 or 50 years has it not. We have to be careful of a concept they refer to as recency bias. That means thinking that what's going to happen in the near-term future is exactly what happened in the near-term past, ignoring the major trends, ignoring history, right? And that's what the situation we're in right now with silver. People think, oh, it's not, it's recency bias. Will it come back as money? I think it will, okay? And I'm curious. I'm curious about you and how you feel about this next point, because to me, it blows me away. It makes no sense that silver sits at $23 while we have this unbelievable deficit, demand outstripping the supply that's coming in. Does that make any sense? Okay, how can silver, if the real price of silver were what the COMEX on the paper market says, $23 per ounce, how in the world then could we be in this situation where in the last 3 years we've had 500 million more ounces of silver demanded than were supplied by the market? Does that not tell us that there's funny business going on, that it's not the real price? Yeah, 500 million ounces, and 500 million ounces have been drained essentially in the last 3 or 4 years from the inventories of the COMEX and the LBMA in London, England, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Their inventories are down too. How long can they plug, right, this deficiency in the market, the fact that the market is demanding way more than how much longer can they plug it? Is the day coming? I'm sorry, I'm getting on a roll here. I can't fathom that silver isn't a no-lose situation. I mean, how could it go much lower? How, right? Because then think about this. This is interesting. Even if people say, oh, if we have a recession, silver will go down. Silver, because the industrial demand. It won't. It shouldn't. Don't make any financial decisions based on anything I'm saying, but it shouldn't, because you need to remember something about silver. 80% of it is produced as a byproduct of copper or zinc mining, a byproduct. So if the economy crashes, guess what? They're going to shut down a lot of the copper mines. The amount of silver already under the best of circumstances right now, the amount of silver being mined is going down. If we hit a recession and they do pull back on copper production, zinc production, guess what? That's really going to kill silver. Supply, not kill the price, kill the supply, a supply that's already shrinking. And the things that silver are being demanded for, solar, electronics, okay, the big growing one that nobody's talking about, I'm not talking enough about it, is the fact that it's a germicide. It's used in all types of water filtration, sanitation, medical devices, all types of things. And it's all growing and growing and growing while the supply is going down, down, down. And on top of that, that plug, right? Here's the supply, here's the demand, right? And this difference between my hands, which would be like from the tip of my glasses to my chin, demand, supply, going down. This point, right, between my glasses and my chin, that's been being plugged by pulling inventory from the COMEX, LBA, and Shanghai Gold. It can't go on forever. Last I looked, the amount of silver backing all the electronic unicorn fart dust, paper, whatever you want to call it, at the COMEX, where everything's levered up and it's make-believe, it's dots on a screen, right? Right? All the available silver was about 42 million ounces. And if you do the math on that, guys, that's less than $1 billion. I'm going to bang the table one time over that. It's insane. It's insane that silver, the COMEX could be wiped out by less than $1 billion. Oh, okay, that makes sense, right? I mean, come on, man. Can silver really go down? It could. Don't make any financial decisions based on anything I say today. However, if you do make your own personal decision that you want to get some silver or gold or platinum, do yourself a favor. Check out Pimbex. They sponsor Ron's Basement. They make this video possible. Pimbex, Pimbex. It's fun to spell. It's fun to say, but it's even funner when you go check them out for yourself and realize that they've got the best prices, great selection, and great service. And when you work with Pimbex, you realize one critical thing. You get the exact same metal, but you get more metal for your money. Thank you, Pimbex, for sponsoring Ron's Basement. They contributed a 10-ounce Geiger silver bar to the giveaway that we're going to redraw here in just a little while. Now, let's move on. Oh, man, I'm fired up. Are you guys fired up? Do you love silver? If you love silver, give me a capital S in the chat. How many capital S's can we get? How many thumbs up? I got to ring that bell here in a second as a sign of our solidarity. Please give this a thumbs up. So, all the content is free, okay? We have a New Year's Eve special. We're giving away all the content. All you got to do is press subscribe and hit the bell. I'll only talk about stagflation. I blipped there for a second. I hope you guys can still see me for a few seconds. Stagflation. We are in stagflation. The mainstream media is talking about stagflation. Stagflation is the most fertile ground, the most conducive environment for much higher silver and gold prices. But yeah, sure, we're still going to get $16 silver. Give me a break. Look, we could, all right, but we are in stagflation, guys, and stagflation is... it could be an interesting decade ahead. All right. I always say, Andy Scheckman and I were talking the other day about silver and that it's wealth. And I said something that I think really resonated with him. And that was silver is a generational investment. It's value, right? I mean, imagine if you had a choice. You could have this 10-ounce, see if we can get it to shine for you, 10-ounce silver bar, or you could have $250 and then think out 50 years from now for your children and your grandchildren, right? Or whoever you're going to give all your silver to. Doesn't matter, right? What would you rather have them in their hand 50 years from now? $200 bills and a $50 bill, or a 10-ounce silver bar? I think the answer is easy. I'll type mine in there. You don't have to, but I'll say I want the 10-ounce bar. It's generational wealth. I only invest with money that I think I'll never need to convert because I don't ever want to convert it. Now, if you do decide to convert it, and Peter Kraft talked about this as well, if we do have that big event, okay, and we're going to talk about bubbles and $300 silver, don't you worry. But if we do have that event where the price just skyrockets, don't sell it all at once. I'm not giving financial advice, but if you dollar cost averaged into silver, it doesn't hurt. If you want to liquidate some of it at some point, the dollar cost average out. Okay. It works the same way. Let's talk about the bubble, okay? And then later we're going to talk about $300 silver, and we're going to do the drawing for the 25-ounce silver, and I'm going to open this birthday present, from our friend Sassy Silver. I'm very excited to open this. I can hear it. Hear that? What does that sound like? We're going to find out here in a little bit. Guys, I'd never thought about this, and you probably haven't either, but it's a big, cool thing for you and me that own silver right now. Why does everybody call it this gold to silver ratio? It's the silver to gold ratio. We're fixing it. We're going to fix the precious metals community. Everybody's making a big deal about how, it takes 90 ounces of silver to buy 1 stinking ounce of gold, right? Have you heard that? Oh my gosh, I froze again. Hopefully you guys can see me, okay? A gram of gold. We never know, right? We never know, but it's a big deal. 90 ounces. 90. Thank you, Fault Dweller. Thank you. Thank you, Basement Dweller. I want to say something to you real quick. Then we're going to get back to the bubble. I really appreciate you joining us. And there's one of you, right? We're together. This is not RonTube. It's YouTube. This is as much your channel as it is my channel, so thank you for being here. Nicest people on the planet. And someday we are going to have a big jamboree get-together, don't you worry. If you want to come to St. Louis, you're more than welcome. We're going to rent a basement of a church in Ron's basement. Get it? The Catholic Church is everywhere in St. Louis, and they rent their basements out. And we're going to have a big party. The bear's going to be there, and maybe you too. We'll see, okay? Nonetheless, it's a big deal you're here. I appreciate it. Now, a bubble in silver. What? What are you talking about, Ron? Are you crazy again? A bubble? Silver's 20. No, the bubble is in the silver to gold ratio. It is a bubble. It is a big deal. 90-1. Now, I think it may have dropped below that as of the close on Friday, but nonetheless, we are in nosebleed bubble, we got trouble territory. And when the bubble pops, when that 90-1 comes back to, hold on here. I'm not prepared for the live stream. Where'd it go? I'm going to look one more time. Bear with me. Hold on. I bet it's up here. Oh, boy. Everything's falling apart. Okay. Here it is. So we are in a bubble right now on the silver to gold ratio. 90-1 is a bubble, okay? I'd never thought about it that way. But when we get back to more normal territory, there's a chart of the silver to gold ratio. That up there is 80. This down here is 40. 80-40. This is 50 years. As you see, over the last 50 years, the silver to gold ratio has pretty much been between 40 and 80, and it's averaged right around 60, okay? It could get down to 40. It could get below 40, but even if it was at 60 right now, we would have $33 silver. If it gets down to 40, okay, all right, which it's done several times, we would have $50 silver. We're in a bubble in a weird way, but the silver to gold ratio, the 90-1 ratio, how often has it been at above 90? There's 90 right there. There's my finger. There's 90. Maybe twice in recent history. So when the bubble breaks, we will see much, much higher, definitely much higher silver prices, okay? Let's open my birthday present. Thank you, Lisa. Here, look at this. Nice wrapping paper. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm curious what's inside, so we're going to open this up right now, live. What do you guys think it is? And do me a favor, and please, if you don't mind, type thanks, Lisa, although this is for me. Whoa, oh boy. Wow. Wow. Look at this. Oh, wow. It's a 2018. Hopefully you can see this. Get it a little closer. There we go. A 2018 Year of the Dog coin. Wow. Thank you, Lisa. That is really, really cool. And look who's on the back. Huh? Our old friend, the Queen. Wow. Man, I love it. Isn't silver just absolutely? I'm going to tell you. Let me ask you this. Look, I know gold is. Thank you, Lisa. Gold is in dollar terms right now more valuable than silver. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. Who knows? You never know. So how valuable silver could get. But me personally, I think that silver is more beautiful than gold to hold, to have, to look at. Right? Even these old coins. Right? These Kimberly sent to me, old peace dollars. These things, to hold these, I mean, look at that, right? I want which do you think is more beautiful, silver or gold? I'm going to say silver. It's up to, no, who cares? I'm just curious. I know silver jewelry, best sounds ever. Yeah, here, listen. Can you guys hear this? It's almost like the gong. I got to ring the bell. 10 rings of the bell. Thank you, Annie. Hey, Sassy Silver. Thank you. You're here. I know. I think it's early where you are. So thank you. I love it. I love it. I love it. I also want to mention she sent along gifts for my daughters and Susie, but their birthdays are in the coming week, so I'll disclose those to you in the future. Thank you. Thanks to all the basement dwellers. Thanks to all you guys for being here on a Sunday morning. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the nice emails. Now, let's move on. This is important to remember. The silver price will step up. Okay, we're going to see steps. And have you noticed this, right? In the last 5 or 6 years, the last decade and a half, really, what we're seeing is one step at a time, step ups in the silver price from shocks that occur, right? Remember what happened with the C-19 shock and the price stepped up. Remember what happened last year with the banking crisis and the price stepped up. We're seeing continued step ups in the silver price, but silver never goes all the way back down, number one, and number two, we have never been in a fundamental supply demand situation with this deficit as we never have been in a situation like we are right now. It really is truly a unique situation. Could the price of silver go down? Absolutely. Do I think it is? I don't. I'm sharing my truth with you. Listen to me, listen to other people, listen to whoever you want. Now, the other big deal for the silver price will be the gold price as well. And we've got our friend, our Danish friend, Ole Hansen, who's still calling for $3,000 gold. He's from Saxo Bank. That's like the big Danish bank that's been around for a long, long time. He's one of the most, this is not some crackpot guy, right? Ole Hansen is a super respected analyst in the whole commodity sector. I think he's the head of commodity analysis for Saxo Bank. And he's calling when he looks at all the factors right now. But I want to back up. Remember that bubble that we talked about? So he's calling for $3,000 gold. Remember that bubble that we talked about earlier in silver, and that being the silver to gold ratio? I just want you to, again, think about if we get the $3,000 gold, and if the silver to gold ratio gets to 50, okay, if my mathematics are correct, that right there is $60 silver. But wait, there's more. There's more. Because when silver starts to go up like that, when the price starts to go up, you know what's going to happen? There's going to be a mad rush for the silver door, all right? And it's a little bitty door. We know what happened during the COVID crisis. We know what happened during the little banking crisis just about a year ago when there's a rush of people for the silver door. And this rush, right, this rush, which could easily be catalyzed by major geopolitical, political, economic, monetary, fiscal issues. This one could be the big one. We could easily see, I think, at $3,000 gold, we could see $85 silver. I know it's crazy, right? But, it's okay for Apple computer stock to go up 10 times in value. It's okay for Microsoft stock to go up 10 times in value. It's okay for cryptocurrencies to go up 10, 20, 50, 100 times in value. Guys, it's okay for silver to go up in value like that as well. This coin keeps catching my eye. I want to say thank you one more time to our friend Sassy Silver. Wow, been a great contributor. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at him. He's a happy dog. It's the year of the dog. All right, guys. Silver also has a history of exploding. So as we talk, I think we could get, look, where's Smitty? There he is, $85 silver. It has a history. That's what I'm saying. If we go to $3,000 gold, and if the silver to gold ratio is just reasonable, okay, at 50, okay, 50 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. Then you have $60 silver, but then you have that explosion potential in the silver price, that absolute explosion potential, where you can get the price 3 or 4 or 5 times, 10 times more people wanting to get the same amount of silver. And that's when it could really get, well, you know what he says, all right? And he admits, like, people find it astounding. But Peter Kraft talks about $300 silver, and we're going to get there in just 1 second. Let me have a sip of coffee. Because there's even more. And that's when the current manipulation cycle, do you think silver's been manipulated? No. Those guys, they just put a couple JP Morgan traders in jail over it. But no, the price of silver, it's not manipulated. It's not tamped down. It's not controlled, is it? No. So when the current manipulation cycle ends, how do you feel about this? And I think you could argue it's been going on for 50 years. It kind of coincides with the start of the COMEX, right? Peter Carruth brought that up, right? Isn't it funny, right? Right when the COMEX came around, when this current manipulation cycle ends, the manipulators will just as gladly manipulate it to the upside. My friend Secret Sean, my roommate in college, right? The Irish man. He worked at the Chicago Board of Trade when we were in college, right? He was there when the FBI came in, whatever. He said the same thing. He said, they don't care if it's going up or going down. What they care about is making money. So if, right, there's no way, but just if we want to consider that the price of silver has been manipulated possibly over the last 50 years. When that tide turns in the manipulation, the path of least resistance is to the upside, they'll just as gladly manipulate it to the upside as well. I want to say thank you to everyone for the super chats as well. They go a long way to help the family, help support the channel. So thank you. Sometimes I forget to say that. Thank you to the moderators, guys. We still have a lot more to talk about, and we're going to do the drawing here. I'm going to do it toward the end. For the 25 ounces of silver. I'll show you the tray one more time, so stick around for that because you could win 25 ounces of silver. It could be your lucky day. Unfortunately, the previous name that we drew, he never claimed the prize, and it's been 96 hours, as the rules say, so I get to draw a new name. $300 silver. Okay? Oh, that's the other thing. These traders that are trading silver, they don't care. They are totally, think about this. The guys on the COMEX, the people that trade futures contracts in silver, they are totally opposite of us. We're connected to the physical metal. Do you feel connected to I feel connected to the physical metal. They're not connected. Most of them don't own any physical silver either. They trade silver, but they don't own any physical silver, and they never take delivery. To them, silver is a blip on the computer screen. Peter Caress said that, and it really sunk home. Does that sink home with you? Right? These guys that are trading, they don't care. So they don't care if the price is 23 or if there's a zero behind it. It's 230. To them, it's just a price. It's not, it's an electronic price. It's not a real metal. So again, like I said, they don't really care. They don't care if the price is $2.30, $23, or $230. Okay? Now, Peter Caress talks about the idea that silver could go to $300 per ounce. I know I've heard Bix Weir talk about 600. We've heard Keith Neumeyer talk about triple-digit silver, right? We know at minimum the price is so low, but what this author bases this on, and you have to think about this. He says when he does analysis, and he's a techie guy, and he compares the silver price to almost any other historic ratio, right? And you look at all the factors involved, okay? Comparing silver to the Dow, comparing silver to the price of anything, all these different ratios, you're looking at a silver price that could get as high as $300 per ounce, okay? Very interesting, okay? He talks about look for a partial exit. You know, Ross Beatty, right? Be prepared. Ross Beatty, the founder of Equinox Gold, probably the great-grandfather of silver and gold and copper for that matter. I love what he says. Look for an exit when all the ducks are quacking. Okay, when you're hearing gold and silver being talked about every day on mainstream financial media, when there are big lines around the corner at your local coin shop to buy silver or gold, that's the time that you want to be looking for an exit, okay? That's the time, okay? Are your neighbors going to kick themselves? Huh? What do you think? I think they will. I could be wrong, but I think your neighbors, when we get $50 silver, when we get $100 silver, and there's none at Costco available, right? Gold at $3,000 or higher, are your neighbors going to be kicking themselves? Maybe now. I bet a lot of my neighbors probably already had some interesting things to say about me. I do get along very well traditionally with all my neighbors, but nonetheless, I'm a bit of a silver and gold enthusiast. Are they 3 years, 3 months, 5, 10 years from now going to look and say, boy, Ron knew what he was talking about? You know, are they going to be kicking themselves that they hadn't bought silver? Are your neighbors going to be kicking themselves, right? Because it's not going to be available. And man, I just can't get over the fact that is it just me, or do you feel this too? When you look at everything involved, the ability for the silver price to go lower from where it is today, it just doesn't feel like it could go much lower, but it sure has a big opportunity to go a lot higher. I like Peter Caress' $300 an ounce silver idea, right? I love it. I think it's great. We're going to talk about some other crazy factors, wrap up about silver. Crazy. Mexico, some other things that we need to consider when we're evaluating the wisdom of our silver investment. But now you get to watch me fumble and stumble through the process of drawing another winner for the big silver giveaway. Again, guys, here it is. Somebody is going to win this. 25 ounces of beautiful silver. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm speechless as I see all that together. Somebody's going to win that, and they're going to win it right now. So give me a second to get this set up. Okay, I have a special program. I'll show you when I draw the winner. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to YouTube. I'm going to the giveaway video, which is where you had to go to register for the giveaway and leave a comment that said, thanks, Pembex. And I'm copying the URL, and I'm going here, and I'm pasting it. Okay, I'll show you this first. I don't want to drop my 10-year-old laptop. So there's the program I use for anybody who wants to check me. All right. And there's the URL of the giveaway. Now, what I do now is I press fetch. This will, and we are not going to include replies or duplicates. And then we're going to continue. It's getting all the comments together. Okay, it loaded 947 comments. Okay, now, see if I can do this. I'm going to get this over here. We're going to pick a winner. Are you ready? Here it goes. It picked a winner. I can't even see it yet, but you can. And the winner is Mark Beers, 2596. So, Mark, I need you to send me an email. The email's in the description of this and all the videos, and then I will send you a code, and you'll leave a comment with your Mark Beers YouTube username with that code on this video so I can confirm it's you, and I will then ship out all of the silver. All right. Okay, guys, let's get back to the talk. How's everybody doing? How are all the basement dwellers, huh? Hold on here. Oh, boy. Did I lose the live stream? I did. No, it's not. There it is. Okay, we're back. Hello, Sassy Silver. Congratulations, Mark Beers. Thank you to Pimbex. Thank you to Jim B. Thank you to Jim M. Also contributed. Thank you to Coin Shop Chris. Also contributed. Oh boy, we got 10 minutes, and then Coin Shop Chris and I have our big video premiering. So let me wrap up here. I got a lot to cover. Just a few more interesting comments about silver. Okay, we haven't even talked about industrial demand last year. About 650 million ounces. The whole mining sector only produced about 850 million ounces. Solar is exploding, okay? Karath talked about that. We've talked about it ad nauseum. The new solar panels, the new technology uses much more silver per panel, and they're making a lot more panels. You know the story about electric cars. We're going to fly through all this, guys, but it's critical, okay? Industrial demand is growing and growing and accounting for more and more of the use of silver. We already talked about 75% of it is a byproduct. It's an afterthought. Okay, Mexico and Peru are the two made. Mexico's the biggest. Peru's a big also producer of silver. Okay, Fortuna Silver, the channel sponsor, has a silver mine in Peru. They've been mining silver in Peru throughout the ages. It's a major industry there. The amount of silver being produced by the mining companies in Peru is going down. Mexico's down like 25% in the last 2 years. And by the way, thank you to Fortuna Silver for sponsoring Ron's Basement. You can learn more about them at fortunasilver.com. And thank you to First Mining Gold. They have 13 million ounces of gold tucked away safely in the ground in Canada. Two of the largest development stage projects in Canada, Springpole in Ontario and Du Parquet in Quebec. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. And I have a cough. Okay? Silver, this is interesting. Silver cannot be worth less than the amount of energy put into producing it. Think about that. Once you hold this, right, like this 10-ounce silver bar, right, it can't be worth any less than the amount of energy that went into producing it. And there's a lot of, what? Oh, I got to ring the cowbell. 200 thumbs up. It can't be worth any less than the amount of energy that went into it, right? Show me an electronic crypto. Show me a dollar, right? How much energy went into printing a dollar? Nada. How much energy goes into pressing a button? Well, anyway, we won't talk about how much energy it goes into some of these cryptos and how that could be bad for the environment. We'll save that discussion for another day, okay? Nobody knows how much silver is left in the secondary market that's been plugging this massive deficit that we've had over the last few years. But we do know one thing for sure. That amount of silver that's above ground that has been plugging that deficit, it's not inexhaustible. And we do know that almost 500 million ounces have been pulled out of that secondary market, that above ground level. All right, guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you do to help support the channel. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you next time. Hop on over to the Premier Coin Shop. Chris and I have a new video coming out. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the moderators. Thank you, Sassy Silver, for my wonderful birthday gift. Thank you, Annie Oakley. You guys are the best, and I will see you guys soon.